Welcome, friends. I'm Gina Nicole, and this is the Goddess Channel, where we awaken our spiritual awareness, connect from our hearts, and amplify goodness in the world through channeled messages we co-create together with Spirit. Today, I want to begin by sharing something with you that happened in the past 2 days. I've just been receiving download after download after download. So I just want you to know that over the next, 10 days or so, next couple of weeks on the Goddess Channel, you're going to notice that the messages here are really aligned and carrying a really potent energy, one after the other. And I believe it's just going to feel really timely, really rich, and deeply activating. So if you've already been resonating with what's coming through, or this is your first time here and you're resonating with today's message that we're about to get into, I just want to gently invite you not just to like and subscribe, but click the notification bell and make sure that if you would love to be notified when these messages come out, usually it's 3 times a week, that you get that notification. So that's just my little tip for you, but I'm just so happy that we get to be here together at this time, doing this together while these sacred downloads are coming through. And as always, really, I see this as a co-creation where all of our energies in this container together are allowing me to channel this for you. So I thank you for your presence very much. Let's get into today's message. So, like I said, what's coming through here is a sacred calling. And as my words start to flow here, I just want you to notice if you feel this in the deepest part of you, the part that remembers what's true. Because what came through very profoundly for this reading is an invitation. And that invitation is simplicity. We are being called back to simplicity. Because complexity, while often masked as intelligence or progress, complexity is what creates distortion. It breeds illusion. It fragments truth. And I'm kind of going to go off on a tangent here, but that's where we start second-guessing ourselves, second-guessing, what's real, what's not real, what's true, what's not true, if we're in the right or we're in the wrong. And you can see how complexity can spiral very quickly, right? Here's what Spirit made so clear to me in this message. Simplicity is always going to reflect what is eternal, what is natural. But in this reality, we've had the experience of leaving that kind of natural, simple experience of being to explore complexity. That's kind of part of what this earth walk is about, right? We've had to walk through complexity in order to discover a new pathway home to love. This is what an ever-expansive universe is always about, is expanding love by finding boundaries of love and then breaking through those boundaries and creating even more love, in a sense. And in that way, complexity is actually one of our greatest teachers, because it's shown us everything that's not true, that we don't resonate with, that feels icky, that feels off, that feels yucky, that feels like we're being gaslit. Sometimes by people, sometimes it feels like we're being gaslit by reality, if I'm perfectly honest. But then it triggers us to be like, no, I don't want that. This is not okay with me. This is not what I'm choosing. And we remember our truth. We remember what is real. Just take a breath here. Complexity is what happens when we try to let the external world dictate our internal reality. It's a mirror that dares us to look at a society And notice that it doesn't feel right. It feels off. It feels out of alignment. It feels too complex, too convoluted, all of these things. And yet we may find ourselves getting pulled into this web of overthinking, overwhelm, overdoing, until we're so lost in the maze that we start to turn it inward. We start to think that we are the problem. And that's when we conform, we shrink, we comply, we pretend the distortion is normal just to get through the day, just to cope, because we're in it. And we've forgotten that there was another option. But right now, in this very moment we're in, we are being invited, and that's why this message has come through today. We're being invited to look at that mirror, look at the external world with a new kind of discernment. And discernment in its highest form can only arise from truth. Energetically, true discernment can only arise from truth. That is the essence of being discerning, is weeding out all the noise, weeding out all the distraction, complexity, untruth, whatever. It can't come from fear. It can't come from conditioning. It can't come from pressure. It can only come from truth. And the truth is this, again, simplicity is the key here. And it's not just a preference or aesthetic like saying I'm a minimalist. It's a portal. It brings us back to the present moment, to the light, to clarity, to presence. Because in the present moment, complexity literally falls away. So it returns us to center, to the relief that lives in every breath. And just take a breath here. Let your nervous system just relax right on into this. It brings us back to the moment, the now moment, when all the cards are on the table, nothing is hidden, everything is illuminated. There's only breath. Where you're not being sold on something, where your nervous system is at peace, where solution lives. Just taking a nice relaxing breath here. And this is the energy that spirit is opening in your field today. And those of you who can feel energy, you might feel this. Those of you that can just feel maybe sensation in the body, maybe you feel a little wave of relaxation or relief. And as we gather together here in this moment, your higher self is already facilitating the shift. The frequency of simplicity is integrating deep within you because it's who you are. It is your natural order. It's your natural state of being. It's the remembering of what you already knew. But because of all of these external factors, perhaps you are afraid to live. Because simplicity in a world that profits from your confusion, let's be real, simplicity can actually feel radical. Too much space, too much freedom, too much openness, less consumption, less running around, less doing, and more being. It can feel rebellious. It can feel risky, almost like you're exposed. It can feel risky to say no, to speak plainly, to step off of the hamster wheel and stop trying to fix, impress, or perform. But now notice this energy is available to us. We're waking up out of this sort of convoluted dream that we've been lost in. We're ready. So today I invite you to align with this frequency consciously with love. Again, your higher self is already helping you integrate these frequencies, but you get to choose consciously, yes, I love myself through simplicity. I welcome ease, simplicity, presence, breath, calmness, all of these things. Alignment. Let your word, let your vibration become one, become coherent, become the same. You may say these words: I love simplicity. I love how easy and clear things are. I love clarity. It's so cool how everything just flows for me. Those affirmations are not a big deal. It's just, I love this, I love that. It feels easy breezy. And so your nervous system is probably going to feel quite at peace with those affirmations. And so you can rewind this a bit and just kind of listen back to that. See how those land with you. Start talking to yourself a little bit more in those terms. I don't know how, but stuff just always happens so easily for me, and I love it. I love how my life just gets simpler. Do you see how those little thought patterns, those little nudges to yourself feel easy to the nervous system, feel like a yes? Notice if that's true for you. And the more you just kind of say those little comments to yourself in your mind or out loud, your subconscious is just like, oh yeah, I do love that. This is me. Because your subconscious has zero discernment. So it's just going to take it in and take it in and take it in. And whatever gets repeated the most, that's what your subconscious is going to define who you are. And that's how your life is going to unfold. I don't want to get into the whole, universal law here. But just notice if that feels true for you. We can get more into that in a future video. But just what you repeat to yourself is who you become. That's all you have to understand about it. And that's why oftentimes we get so ingrained in patterns, right? It's because what repeats tends to persist. It becomes our identity. It unfolds that way, and it becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. So what you're being invited into is just saying words of simplicity to yourself and just letting that become your new reality if that feels good. Because for me, the message I'm getting, the sense I'm getting, is that this is our easiest path forward. This is what we're being called into. This is what we're being called to model. In a world that kind of wants to show us anything but this, we're anchoring this. And I love that for us. So let that become the frequency you walk in today. Let it open your mind, open spaciousness within you to the truth that your soul has always been in alignment with. And now we're just bringing the human side of us on board. Because complexity is where we've gotten lost. And simplicity is where you're found. Let that wash through you. Feel into that and just breathe here for a moment, maybe putting a hand on your heart. Beautiful job here today. Thank you for being part of this transmission. Thank you for being part of this energy, this tribe, this container, this channel. And contributing your beingness in this co-creation. This is beautiful. Have a wonderful day. I love you.